do we have? Okay, we're live. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me okay? Hey, Brian, how you doing, buddy? Brian E. Johnson. So I guess that YouTube has not sent out a notification to anybody. You guys hit OTVO, put OTVO and take your finger and hit the like button. Just real quick, just hit the like button real fast. Can't post comments to some destinations. Maybe there's a technical difficulty with this particular live stream. It's happened to me before. So how's everybody doing? Good to see everybody. What is going on? I can't see any of the comments. So everybody do me a favor and hit the like button. I have a limited amount of time today. So I want to show you guys a couple of things here. Okay. Okay. Can you guys hear me okay? Give me a 5x5 if you guys can hear me okay. Did you guys get a notification that the live was happening? Because I don't know if the notifications are being sent out. But there's something I want to show you guys that is really relevant to the process of creating change. So whether you're watching this video next week, next month, next year, do me a favor and take your finger and just go right down to the thumb and hit the like button. It's a thumbs up. It looks like this. Hit the like button. I'm going to show you guys a couple of videos today, and the purpose of me showing you this is to show you that the Supreme Court and SCOTUS, Supreme Court of the United States, and LVMPD have the exact same ethics process. And this is really important. If we're going to ever implement change, then what we have to do is we have to make it so that there's a clear process of what exactly happens if you have an internal affairs complaint. If a police officer has done you wrong, cheated you, and you're mad and you want to get justice, well, there's a very specific process that you should be able to follow. And so I've been following a guy for a long time on YouTube named Sheldon Whitehouse. I've been listening to all of his speeches, and I'm on the thumbnail is a screenshot of his cover of the name of his channel, and you can see it right there in the bottom of the screenshot. And I want to show you guys how the police have created the exact same system, that there is no process to get justice that you will be able to understand. And what's the most, did everybody hit the like button? Everybody take your finger and hit the like button. YouTube, I'm in a lawsuit with YouTube right now. So, they're going to make sure that they limit the outreach as much as they possibly can. But it doesn't matter, because people will see this video, whether it's on this platform or another. Remember, if you ever come to my page and I'm not here, I will emerge on another platform. Matter of fact, I've heard about a live streaming platform called Kick. Have you guys heard of this live stream platform called Kick? And so I'm considering starting to stream live on Kick, because there's no censorship on it. So that's what I'm thinking about. If anybody knows about this platform called Kick, the live streaming platform, if you would get back to me and let me know what you know. AK Audit, Stacy, what is going on? So I have a very specific reason why I'm doing this particular stream. And so first I'm going to show you a 1 minute. It's not even a 1 minute. I think it's 45 seconds or so. I'm going to show you a real quick video, and then I'm going to show you 15, 16 minutes of Sheldon Whitehouse. And then I'm going to come back here and talk with you guys a little bit about the internal affairs video you're going to see next. And so what this will do is this will make it so that, hold on, let me get this link here for you guys. This link right here to this video. I think DLZ Clips is taking a nap right now. Okay, so I'm gonna show you this real quick 1 minute clip so that you guys can get the gist of the reasons why I'm showing this to you. And just watch this real quick.
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, dude, how you doing, man? What's your name and badge number, sir?
Huh?
What's your name and badge number, sir?
What do you need that for?
You're here in front of me, so I thought I'd get your name and badge number. Is that all right? Hey, are you guys the same internal affairs guys from last time?
No, we're not.
Okay, why do you guys got 4 coppers here?
So your complaint's closed?
My complaint's closed?
That's correct.
Okay, cool. What happened with
There's
it?
nothing further to discuss.
What happened with it?
There's nothing further to discuss, sir.
Oh,
Have a nice day.
Wait, that's it?
Yep. Have a nice day.
Why were the other 2 coppers here? Don't you guys have guns? You guys have guns, right? You have guns and tasers and sticks. So that's it. I don't get any more information. Can you tell me what happened with it? Was it just case? The cameras like raid for cockroaches. And did you hear the internal affairs? The internal affairs comes out and they says your case is closed and that's it. So this is the transparency that we get from internal affairs. I mean, how are those the police of police? How is that possible? I'm gonna let it. Hey, what's going on, Mr. Coppers? Hey, what's up, man? Hey, dude, how you doing, man? What's your name and badge number, sir?
Huh?
What's your name and badge number, sir?
What do you need that for?
So he doesn't want to give me transparency here just to know who he is. In case he's going to go hands-on with me, I want his name and badge number so I can file a lawsuit against him. You're here in front of me, so I thought I'd get your name and badge number. Is that all right? Hey, are you guys the same internal affairs guys from last time?
No, we're not.
Okay. Why do you guys got 4 coppers here?
So your complaint's closed?
My complaint's closed?
That's correct.
Okay, cool. What happened with it?
There's nothing further.
Okay, cool. What happened with it? You guys heard me say that. Okay. So now you saw that. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys another video from Sheldon Whitehouse. And I want you to see how what happens with internal affairs, different departments across America. I went there to follow up on my complaint because I'm suing those cops. And then I said, well, what happened with the complaint? That's it. You don't get any more information. I don't get to know what I was the one abused. I'm the one who can't use my pinky properly when I type now. That happened to me. And so I want to know what happened to the copper that I filed a complaint on with the Internal Affairs Division at Las Vegas Metro Police Department, which is a fair thing to ask. And so you say to yourself, well, then what is the exact process? What's the right process that there is for you to file a complaint against somebody so that you understand exactly what has happened? And so I want to show you this other video. And you're going to get to see exactly what I'm talking about. And this video is from Sheldon Whitehouse, Senator Sheldon Whitehouse. If you guys are not familiar with this channel and you have not seen the entire scheme videos, you really, really should watch. And so what this says is the ethics-free zone around, let me see what you guys can see so I can make it big. Oh, I'm so sorry. The ethics-free zone around the Supreme Court. Now, this is really important. See this right here? So, and he's going to explain exactly how it works. He's going to explain exactly how it works. I'm subscribed to him. I went over. I like the channel. I'll drop a comment down here. Thanks for the EDU. My pinky's not working because Sandoval hurt my pinky. So, okay. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to watch this. So, and if you're doing what you're doing during the day, you can just listen to this in the background, and you're going to hear exactly what it means to be able to file a complaint properly. Did everybody hit the like button? Did everybody hit the like button? Do me a favor, hit the like button if you would. Everybody hit the like button, and then can you type in the comment section OTVO, overturn Terry versus Ohio? Pretty pleased with sugar and cherries on top. I would love to see. I'll read a couple names. Alan Hub, The Fallen is here. What is going on, Alan? How are you, brother? Thank you for the text. KT, what's going on? Rocky, what is going on? How are you? Cope Doggy, no, get the flock out of here. Brian E. Johnson is a new member. Thank you so much. I don't have DLZ clips here today. Thank you for joining my channel. Appreciate it. God bless you, man. Good to see you, man. Night Train, what is going on? AK Audits, Wild Alaska. Woo, Wild Alaska, baby. I'm from Alaska. So William Smith is in here. What Butch, the original SWE Observer, Mr.'s TVP. Oh, and I got $100 to put into Eric's fundraiser, and we're gonna do that at the end of this. So someone sent me, and I think I'm gonna give the credit to the person who sent me the $100 for Eric's wheelchair. I believe it was on Venmo. And then we're gonna get into this video by Sheldon Whitehouse. And so I want to give a real shout out to Daniel. Daniel sent me $100 and put wheelchair on the thing. And so if I can cover up his name, there that is. Can you see anything else on there? Okay, and there that is. You know what I'll do? I'll just take a screenshot of this bad chicken. I'll take a screenshot of this bad chicken, and then I'll cover out. His name's Daniel, and I want to say thank you to Daniel. And there that is. Okay, right there. And so you guys will be able to see. Let me make sure there's no just okay right there. So Daniel sent me $100 yesterday, and he put wheelchair in the subject line. See, it says, see the top where it says wheelchair. So if you guys Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal me, and you want to donate to Eric's fundraiser, you can Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal me and put wheelchair in the subject line. And so Daniel, thank you. I'm going to donate that $100 that you sent to me directly into Eric's GoFundMe account, because we're going to get him that wheelchair. The guy has beaten death for 2 years. They said he was going to die 2 years ago. He's still alive. He's still alive. He's still kicking. So, because we don't stop. We don't die on Team DLZ. We just keep on going. You can try to stop me, but if you want to stop me, you're going to have to kill me, because I'm not stopping, because we don't stop. We do not stop. Okay. With that being said, even past the YouTube shadow ban here, which is pretty ridiculous, but you know what? These are my real friends anyway. Thanks for coming, guys. Okay, so let's get into Sheldon's video. OTVO. Good to see you, Bong Bud Connor. I quit smoking weed. I'm 100% sober now. No marijuana in my system. Pretty crazy, man. Pretty crazy. But I quit smoking weed last year when I was in Ironton, Ohio as well, before I got to Ironton. And then, you know, over time, you know, marijuana is kind of good sometimes. Kind of good. It's kind of good. I know that I'm supposed to talk for, 10 or 15 minutes. We're at 11 minutes. So let's get this video going. I want you guys to see the process within organizations, administrations, the way that you file an ethics complaint and what the proper process is. And what Sheldon Whitehouse here is going to explain is exactly how to file an ethics complaint, the process that happens here. You guys saw what happened when I went to Internal Affairs and tried to file a complaint. Complaint's closed. Well, can I know what happened? Nope, that's it. Complaint's closed. Okay. So I already seen this video back home. That's how you talk. I already seen that. I kind of got lost in the improper grammar. I don't know if I know how to say it properly now. Great big dunce cap. I already seen it. I already seen this video. I already saw this video. For the love of God, get the proper words out. Did everybody hit the like button? Did you hit the like button? Listen, you're going to learn something today you didn't know yesterday. I promise you. You were going to walk away from this going, oh, so that's the process. You're really going to learn something right now. The education you're going to take away from this is really good. This is really good stuff. All right, without further ado, let's get into Sheldon Whitehouse's video.
Mr. President, I'm back today now for the 20th time to shed a little light on the dark money scheme to capture and control our Supreme Court. Part of what allows that scheme to flourish is the ethics-free zone around the Supreme Court.
And around police.
It's quite unique.
Around police, too.
So let's look at it.
Let's take a look at it.
The last time I gave this speech, number 19, I walked through the various problems with how the Supreme Court handles allegations of misconduct by the justices.
How police handle misconduct.
The short answer is that it doesn't.
It doesn't. They don't.
The United States Supreme Court is the only court in the country not covered by an ethics code, and worse than that, it's the only part of the federal government that has no process for ethics investigation and enforcement.
Neither do police.
None.
Neither do police. They do the same thing.
Now, any meaningful ethics regime contains three things. First, a process for receiving complaints.
Right. Internal Affairs.
Second, a process for investigating those complaints once they're received.
Cops investigating cops.
And third, a process for reporting the result and holding powerful people accountable.
Cops.
Should those complaints turn out to be merited.
You can completely parallel everything he's saying to the police in states. He's talking about the federal court at the Supreme Court level. You can actually equate it exactly to the Internal Affairs Division in every single state in America. That should all be abolished, and a third-party agency should investigate bad coppers. But listen to how the complaint process is supposed to work.
House and the Senate, for instance, we have our ethics committees. The executive branch has inspectors general and the attorney general. The federal courts, except the Supreme Court, have their own investigative procedures. It's just the Supreme Court that has none.
And neither do police. They don't have a proper process, and you're going to see what the proper process is.
The closest you get is probably a motion to recuse.
The closest you get is internal affairs, which is cops investigating cops.
Let's start with the difficulty of raising ethics complaints with the Supreme Court.
Let's start with the difficulty of having a complaint form online for every police department in America.
People who are concerned about ethics violations over at the court have to get pretty creative because the court has no place to submit an ethics complaint. If you like, there's no inbox. We saw this play out when Judge Kavanaugh became Justice Kavanaugh. Multiple ethics complaints were pending against Judge Kavanaugh.
And what's the parallel with police? All they have to do is resign. They resign and it goes away. It's the exact same thing at the city, state, borough, and district level of your police department.
The lower courts, like the DC Circuit that he was sitting on, do have a process for receiving complaints and for investigating them. And pursuant to that process, a special panel was appointed to review the complaints against Judge Kavanaugh.
So they say they have a complaint process within the police departments, but put a 1 in the chat if you know that it's hard to file a complaint against cops. And if you do get to, it's cops investigating cops.
But as soon as Judge Kavanaugh squeaked onto the Supreme Court as Justice Kavanaugh, poof, the lower courts lost jurisdiction over him, and the complaints had to be dismissed mid-investigation.
And that's what happens with police. As soon as they resign, they have 5 years, according to the Peace Officer Standards and Training Manual, to become a copper in another city, town. And that ethics complaint you have against him, poof, disappears against the copper. They don't have jurisdiction.
Now, the complaints could have been refiled up at the Supreme Court, but there was no place to file them.
Once the cop resigns, there's no place to file because the cop has resigned. That police department doesn't have jurisdiction over him anymore.
We saw the problem again when a man named Robert Schenck sent Chief Justice Roberts a letter explaining how he learned after a donor's private dinner with Justice Alito and his wife how the Supreme Court was going to rule in the Hobby Lobby decision. Apparently, a letter directly to the Chief Justice isn't a proper way to lodge a complaint because Schenck never heard back from the court. Months later, Schenck then went to the New York Times.
I filed a complaint with Internal Affairs. They never got back to me. When I followed up with them, they told me complaint's closed. That's it. It's over.
Which was following up on an earlier Politico story about Schenck's covert lobbying campaign to have wealthy right-wing donors invite some of the justices to meals, to their vacation homes, or to private clubs. It took the press, the Fourth Estate, to fill in the investigatory gap about that $30 million whining and dining campaign.
It takes First Amendment auditors and activists to fill in the blanks to show how the police are treating us and abusing us, raping us and killing us and charging us in this country.
More recently, a former co-worker of the Chief Justice's spouse alleged ethics problems with the chief's failure to disclose financial connections between his spouse and parties and law firms appearing before the court. With no mechanism to ask the Supreme Court to review whether this arrangement presented a conflict, the former co-worker sent his complaint around to congressional offices in hopes that someone might take it seriously somewhere.
Does that sound familiar? Just parallel that with police. You take your complaint around, they say, oh, that's out of my pay grade. You got to go to the sheriff. You go to the deputy, he says, oh, you got to talk to this captain. Oh, I'm not the captain on duty. It's the same garbage with police in our country. You got to run around to try to get justice, and they pass the buck to the next person.
Again, the complaint made it to the Fourth Estate, and again, without an inbox at the court or a process, it took journalists to give the inquiries an airing.
It takes journalists to expose these filthy, dirty coppers.
Set aside the merits of these complaints. The point is, they never got in the door for the court's consideration.
You never get past the internal affairs coppers. It's the same thing.
The court's refusal to receive ethics complaints is unique to the Supreme Court.
No, it's not, Sheldon. I love you, buddy. Love your channel. Love what you're doing. Love how you're fighting for our rights so that the Supreme Court can be held accountable. But that's not true. It's not unique just to the Supreme Court. Every single person in here, let me know. Is this a parallel exactly to your local town police department?
And I submit it is not serving the institution well. So even if there were an inbox for an ethics complaint, the court still has no process to investigate it. Turn back to Mr. Schenck. After the New York Times reported on his allegation, there was understandable public uproar. Chairman Hank Johnson and I wrote to the court as court's subcommittee chairs to ask whether it was investigating the allegations. After months of silence, amid growing public clamor, the court did something it almost never does. It acknowledged the accusations.
Oh, the cops acknowledge the accusations all the time, but nothing's going to be done about it.
Through a 2-page letter from the court's legal counsel, which I ask unanimous consent to append as an exhibit at the conclusion of my remarks.
Without objection.
The court said the equivalent of, Justice Alito says he didn't leak the decision, and that's good enough for us.
Does that sound familiar? The copper said he had to use force on you, and that's good enough for us.
No mention in the letter of the lobbying campaign or of private whining and dining.
No mention that the person who was internal affairs is best friends with that copper's previous partner.
And no description of anything resembling actual investigation.
And the Mullen Commission, it said over and over again how internal affairs was either unwilling or inept or unfunded, or the investigation would just be closed without any notification. And we saw that when I started this video.
I've been the Attorney General of my state, a position that has criminal jurisdiction across the entire state. Only 3 attorneys general in the country have that. Rhode Island is one of them. I've been the United States Attorney for my state and led federal investigations. I know a little about investigations. It is investigation 101 to take statements from witnesses. That's how you make a record, and that's how you deter lying, by tying people to a statement so they can be held accountable if it turns out that the statement is false. No sign in the letter that that was done.
Where are the cops who have to make a statement that we get to read the statement and we get to review the statement? The statement gets to go through a process where who investigated the statement? Was the statement recorded? Now we get to take those words that Jesse Sandoval said when he abused me, and we get to get them on the record. And not 3 days after the violence happened. It should be immediately, and he should be sequestered from everybody else so we can get everybody's stories individually without text communications.
Same again with Justice Thomas regarding his refusal to recuse himself from cases implicating his wife's efforts at overturning the 2020 election. Back in January 2022, Justice Thomas participated as the lone dissenter in a decision that allowed the House January 6th Select Committee access to records from the Trump White House. And a couple of months later, it turned out that Justice Thomas's wife had texted with White House officials repeatedly about overturning the 2020 election.
Oh, so wait a minute. Do you mean that cops and their families wouldn't text each other after someone is murdered or abused or raped or wrongfully charged? You mean that cops wouldn't do that exact same thing that Clarence Thomas's wife is doing? They do the exact same thing. We saw the exact same thing with the James Sheets murder. Tommy Shinneman was texting everybody, I'm hot, don't talk, I'm hot. But BCI, the super cops of Ohio, investigated the dirty pigs in Youngstown, and they found no wrongdoing. Isn't it amazing?
So she was clearly covered by that investigative effort by the January 6th Commission. He did not recuse, and indirectly it was suggested that Justice Thomas knew nothing at all about his wife's activities, so he didn't need to recuse. Okay, but that's a fact question. What did Justice Thomas know about his wife's activities at the time of the case?
We'll never know because he was never sequestered and questioned, where he couldn't text his wife and say, here's what I said. Make sure you match these words. That's what cops do. This is an exact parallel. Cops have the same no ethics free zone as the Supreme Court does.
Easy to ask him. Easy to take a statement from him. But no sign that that was done. So, of course, no statement and no consequences. Later, after the reporting about Justice Thomas's wife's activities came out in the public press, and he failed to recuse himself in another case, the issue is no longer just a fact question about what Justice Thomas knew. He was now on notice about his wife's conduct, and he still did not recuse.
Unbelievable.
Why not? Again, no justification, no investigation, no conclusion.
So when the filthy pigger has got you hemmed up, and I released Jason Dollarhide's video this morning again to keep people remembering what happened to Jason Dollarhide. The video's been demonetized and deemed 18 or older. I don't make a dime from it. I released it anyway this morning to remind people what happened to Jason Dollarhide. And what he's saying right here is exactly what cops do. When a cop has a hard-on for you and he's abusing you, like Jason Dollarhide, he doesn't have to recuse himself. And since you're afraid of that copper, or that copper's abusing you like Sandoval was abusing me, then the other coppers on the scene will segue to him to make all the executive decisions over your life because you're in torture cuffs. This is an exact parallel to the cops in America.
The court has repeatedly failed to investigate or even acknowledge this glaring problem.
Right. The same
Which
thing.
brings us to the third element of an effective ethics.
The police have refused to acknowledge through 4 different commissions, the Seabury, the Wickersham, the Knapp, and the Mullen. They refuse to recognize that we need a third party. They have complete autonomy. And you saw how they treated me the other day when I went to Internal Affairs. It's cops for cops. You don't think it's judges for judges?
Ethics regime, accountability, and transparency, a report at the end.
The third step, so I don't interrupt him.
The court has repeatedly failed to investigate or even acknowledge this glaring problem.
Police, same.
Which brings us to the third element of an effective ethics regime, accountability and transparency, a report at the end.
Accountability and transparency.
An investigation ought to be designed to get to the truth and to report its findings.
Report the findings.
So that people can be held accountable for wrongdoing.
So people can be held accountable.
And the public can have confidence in the outcome.
And the public can have confidence.
That is a statement so obvious, I find it hard to believe I actually have to say it here about the court.
About the court, about the cops.
The one investigation we have seen the Supreme Court undertake was done in response to the Alito draft opinion leak. As an investigation, it was pitiful and marred with conflicts. My surmise is that in the heat of the court's ire about the leak, the assumption was made that some clerk or staffer was responsible. Chief Justice Roberts directed the marshal of the court to investigate. He called.
And what did they say with the cops? It was the training. It wasn't the cop who abused you that dug his thumb into your ulnar nerve so you would have nerve damage. It wasn't the cop. It was his training. It wasn't him.
The assumption was made that some clerk or staffer was responsible.
It was the training.
Chief Justice Roberts directed the marshal of the court to investigate. He called the leak a singular and egregious breach of trust that is an affront to the court and the community of public servants who work here.
The BCI is going to investigate. BCI is going to investigate Youngstown.
Well, for more than 8 months, the public waited to find out whether the marshal's investigation would live up to the Chief Justice's words.
For months and months, we waited for the results from BCI that the investigation would live up to the video that shows James Sheets never raised his arm up to a horizontal plane. He was tased from both sides. He couldn't have raised his arms. He got tased from both sides immediately. And then the cops investigated the cops. We waited for 8 months, however long it took, a year almost.
And live up to the Chief Justice's words. In the end, the court's handling of the Dobbs investigation was a case study in how not to conduct a fair and transparent investigation.
Every single internal affair complaint is an example of how not to have cops investigate cops, because you're going to get the same result over and over and over again.
The problems were numerous, not least that the marshal of the court isn't normally responsible for leading investigations.
Oh, internal affairs is responsible for leading investigations, but they're cops investigating cops.
But the problem that really emerged was that some of the prime suspects for the leak were her bosses.
The parallel is so obvious. It's cops for cops. They've worked together. They've been friends. They went to the academy together. They know each other. Every year, the Fraternal Order of Police has millions of meetings, and the cops in that state all get together. That means BCI from Ohio gets together with the Youngstown cops, and they collude.
And the investigation held the justices to a different standard than everyone else at the court.
Cops are held to a different standard because they're the breadwinner of the government. Every cop who arrests people makes the government more money.
Everyone else at the court had to sit down for formal interviews.
You got to give your name. You got to give your ID. You got to get on. You got to sit down with investigators. They're going to investigate you. But you don't get to investigate those coppers. You don't get to see them sit down. You don't get to see them get questioned independently. It happens weeks or months later. And by then, they've been able to text each other to get their story straight.
Had to turn over their private communications.
Do cops have to do that? No, not unless the cops want to get that cop out.
Had to sign affidavits under oath.
You have to sign an affidavit and swear.
But when it came to the justices,
when it comes to the cops,
it was different.
It's different.
They were subject to something that the court called an, quote, iterative process.
Iterative process.
End quote. I have no idea what an iterative process is. I can tell you what it isn't. It isn't an investigative process.
Let's take a break real quick. Let's take a break. Let's open up ChatGPT and ask it what an iterative process is. I have ChatGPT open right here. And so I will say, what is an anybody can spell that? Can anybody spell that? I don't know how to spell it. Can anybody spell iterative process? Can anybody spell iterative? I don't know how to spell it. Someone put iterative in the chat below. Someone put iterative. And everybody who just got here, hit the like button. Take your finger real quick. Whoop, 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 and hit the like button. Hit the like button. Iterative. Who knows how to spell? Okay, so let me open up my ChatGPT. I'm going to stop sharing this screen real quick, and I'm going to share the ChatGPT screen. There, that is. What is an iterative process? Now, obviously, I didn't spell. Oh, I'm sorry. I spelled it wrong. What is an iterative process? An iterative process. Okay, so we have it right here. Let me open up my screen big so you guys can see what I'm looking at. This is what an iterative process is. An iterative process is a method of problem solving or development that involves repeating a series of steps or cycles, making incremental improvements or adjustments at each iteration. It is a flexible and dynamic approach where feedback from each cycle is used to inform and refine subsequent iterations. In an iterative process, the initial version or solution is developed and tested, then feedback is collected and analyzed. This feedback helps identify areas for improvement or necessary changes. The process is then repeated with each iteration, building upon the previous one, gradually refining and enhancing the solution until the desired outcome is achieved. Oh my God. That's what an iterative process is. Okay. The key characteristics to an iterative process include repetition. The process involves repeating a set of steps or tasks multiple times. Feedback driven. Each iteration involves gathering feedback and using it to inform subsequent iterations. Incremental improvements. Changes and enhancements are made gradually over each iteration. Flexibility. The process allows for the adjustments and the adaptations based on feedback and changing requirements. So what does changing requirements mean? Well, that's going to mean that the cops' policies are going to come into the process of the iterative process, because then if their policies are such that it validates their horrible behavior, then they change the requirements. Convergent. The iterations converge towards the desired outcome. It's towards the desired outcome. It said it 3 times, 4 times. Iterative processes are commonly used in various fields, including software development, project management, design, and problem solving. They promote continuous learning, adaptation, and refinement, enabling teams to respond to effective needs and challenges. So there that is right there. That's what an iterative process is. So now let's go back to Sheldon and let's let him finish. So far what we've learned is to file a complaint properly, to do a proper ethics complaint. Number one, there has to be a way to file the complaint without intimidation. You can file that complaint. Put a 1 in the chat if it's almost impossible to file a complaint on any cop shop across America without you having to go through, come in here and sit down. Let me get your ID. Why do you have to give your ID to file a complaint? They want to know where you live. That's why. So they can target you. Because the cops are going to tell the other cops, this person came in and complained against you. Here's his address. Here's where he works. Number 2, then there has to be an investigative process, a team of people who are funded that have proper subpoena power and arresting power to properly do that investigation. The third step is there then has to be a report on exactly what that investigative process was, who was involved in it, who was questioned, and what the outcome of that investigation, what the fruits of the investigation bared. And that's what Sheldon has taught us here today. Is that what's happening in internal affairs across America? No, it's not. You saw them. I went in there and said, hey, what's going on with my case? Case is closed. That's it. Goodbye. No more information. Where's the report? Who did the investigation? What were the conclusions of the investigation? I don't really understand why that is. Why? So let's go back to Sheldon and keep listening to what he has to say.
The justices even asked questions of their own. Some statement. The premise seems to be that even here, the justices can never be investigated.
Right.
This was going to be a tough, fierce investigation as long as it looked like it was going to be clerks and staff. But once it looked like it might be justices involved in the leak, suddenly the wheels fell off.
If you're not familiar with the blue wall of silence that was clearly outlined in the Mullen Commission of 1994, this is exactly what he's saying. As soon as it gets to a certain level, the blue wall of silence, all information ceases to exist. Because below the lieutenant, the sergeants, the corporals, whatever their stupid ranking system is, they all just lips are sealed. I don't recall at this time.
I've never seen an investigation where the investigator called in a third party to provide public assurance that they did a good job.
Whoa! Is that every single cop shop in America? He just nailed it. Listen to it again.
Justices involved in the leak, suddenly the wheels fell off. I've never seen an investigation where the investigator called in a third party to provide public assurance that they did a good job.
There's no third party. The cops are going to investigate the cops.
Like a little sidecar running next to the investigation. Yeah, they're doing a good job.
Because a third party would get to see all their notes, what their investigative process is. They'd get to be a part of the depositions. They'd get to be a part of every single part of that investigation, gathering evidence, securing that evidence, making sure the evidence doesn't get lost or stolen.
In this case, worse, it was a third party with conflicts of interest.
BCI investigated the Youngtowns cops. They have a third party interest in cops not looking bad. It was all through the Mullen Commission, available on Delete Laws for free. The Mullen Commission, go to the periodicals and read them.
With relationships with obvious suspects.
The cops have relationships with cops.
And with contracts with the court.
And the cops all have contract with the city, the town, the state, the borough, the district.
So if you compare all of that to how misconduct investigations are handled everywhere else in the federal government.
In the federal government, but the local, state, town, borough, district government does the exact same process with cops.
You see some pretty big discrepancies. In the executive branch, Congress has established inspectors general who are surrounded by professional staff, experienced in internal investigations.
How's that going? How's that going? How's the inspector general doing with the corruption within our government?
IGs know how to conduct real interviews and record witness statements.
Does that happen within the cops? No, it happens, sure. They just ask them questions that they already knew. They gave them the questions in advance. Unless the cops want to get rid of that copper, they collude together. Remember, the Fraternal Order of Police, it's the giant umbrella that connects all the straws, all the spokes together to make the umbrella.
Congress has its own internal procedures and investigators for ethics complaints. We have our ethics committee. The House has its ethics committee. Congress set up procedures for ethics investigations in the lower courts. They exist. Judges are investigated, and people can know where you submit your complaint and how that complaint gets investigated.
We don't get to know that with cops.
The Supreme Court is unique across the entire federal government in being impenetrable to investigation.
Cops are the same.
From no ethics inbox,
no complaint,
to no process for reviewing a complaint,
we can't review
to
it.
No credible report at the end of the day.
No report at the end of the day.
The highest court in the land
complaints closed
should not be held to the lowest standards in government.
It's the same thing on the street level with cops.
So last week, Congressman Hank Johnson and I, joined by Senator Blumenthal and Congressman Nadler, Quigley, and Cicilline, reintroduced our Supreme Court Ethics Recusal and Transparency Act. Our bill would finally require the Supreme Court to have not just a code of conduct, but a real process.
The process. Listen to the
to
process.
Enforce that code and other federal ethics laws.
That would need a third party.
Our bill would also update judicial ethics laws, ending the ability of judges to ignore conflicts of interest and their recusal obligations, requiring justices of the Supreme Court to disclose gifts and travel as other federal officials do.
But do cops have to report their gifts and travel? Don't cops go to restaurants and bars and all kinds of places around the country where they get preferential treatment, where they get free stuff? And then if that person calls the cops on somebody, don't the cops come running in? So say, for example, you own a pizza shop and the cops come into your pizza shop. If you give them free pizza and you treat them like they're your brother, then when you have a problem with someone and you call the cops come, it's the same cops who come and eat your pizza. And so they're automatically going to be biased towards the person that the pizza shop owner is having a problem with. And so then you're going to have an amazing amount of violence done to that person because you don't want to mess up the cops' free lunch. But do the cops report that they got a free piece of pizza at that pizza shop every day for a year? And then when that guy called, because there was some sort of thing, then the cop ended up beating up the other person, but you don't know that that cop has been to that pizza shop 365 days that year.
And exposing the real interests appearing at the court behind amici curiae who lobby the court under fake names. Apparently, there has been a half-hearted effort at the court to begin to deal with this. The Washington Post reported last week that the justices discussed for years a binding code of ethics to no result. And the effort seems to have fallen apart. So that leaves Congress in the position that if they won't fix it, we will. There are many problems plaguing our Supreme Court. Far-right dark money interests.
There are many problems plaguing what peace officers are supposed to be called as peace officers. Far-right cop suckers. Sorry, it's a fact. If you're on the right, a lot of those people are cop suckers. Maybe you're not, but they might be. And then when you get up to the federal level, to the Congress and the Senate, those Democrats are cop suckers. Who'd they want to enforce those bird flu shots, those bat flu shots over 2020? The cops.
Spent years stacking the court with their hand-picked justices.
The cops spent years packing every citizen review board and every single process of internal affairs with people who are going to be friendly to what they want done. It's the same thing.
Who in turn have delivered for those interests at every available opportunity.
Internal Affairs has delivered to protect cops at every single corner they possibly could.
We need to undo the damage wrought by the court that dark money built and by those who built it. But we can start by bringing basic standards of integrity to the Supreme Court.
Basic standards of integrity to a third-party organization who gets the body cam, the dash cam, and does all investigations of bad piggies. That's what bring back the confidence to the people that there's somebody fighting for them. That the grand jury process, when a cop kills somebody, is not done by the local district attorney. It's done by individuals who have formed a group that does the inquiry at the grand jury level, so that when cops kill people, they don't get softball questions if there's actually someone trying to convene a grand jury to get charges against that copper who killed, raped, beat, or imprisoned someone wrongfully.
Standards all other judges. We can start by bringing basic standards of integrity to the Supreme Court. Standards all other judges follow, and standards that govern all high-ranking federal officials across all three branches of government.
That's great, Sheldon, but the highest ranking official that we, the people, have to deal with on a daily basis because they hide on the side of the road to get you are cops. So, Sheldon, I understand the level you're at. You're a senator, brother. Ali Baba, dude. Congratulations. I want to be governor, and I will be governor because then I get executive power of a state and I can change this bullshit system. But, Sheldon, the highest ranking government official that we are forced to interact with because they come to our homes and they hide on the side of the street are cops. And the exact same process you're describing, Sheldon. There's no way to file a complaint. There's no way to know what the investigative process is. And there's no way to get an report on what happened and what the punishment was. Legitimate punishment for doing something horrible. It's the same thing, Sheldon.
Officials who are paid by taxpayers to serve the best interests of the American people. Mr. President, to be continued.
To be continued. And why is it to be continued? Let me drop the link for this down below if you guys want to watch this without me talking in between. But why is it? Because it won't stop. It won't stop until one of us gets to executive power. So I'm going to show you again, I'm going to show you this clip that I pulled up from the other day when I went to Internal Affairs. Now, with the knowledge you have that there's supposed to be an easy way to file a complaint, there's supposed to be an investigative process that is transparent, And then there's supposed to be a report that gives the results and tells who did the investigation, what exactly the punishment was, or if there was any punishment, or if there was any wrongdoing or criminal activity found. So here is exactly what happens when you have cops investigate cops. I showed this earlier. I'm going to show it one more time, and then I'm going to show you one more video, and we're going to get the flock out of here. So this is what happens when I went to Internal Affairs the other day to file a complaint.
Discuss?
What happened with it?
There's nothing further to discuss, sir.
Oh,
Have a
okay.
nice day.
Wait, that's it?
Yep. Have a nice day.
Why were the other two coppers here? Don't you guys have guns? You guys have guns, right? You have guns and tasers and sticks? So that's it? I don't get any more information? Can you tell me what happened with it? Was it just...
It's closed. Have a nice day.
The cameras like raid for cockroaches. And did you hear the Internal Affairs? The Internal Affairs comes out and they says your case is closed, and that's it. So this is the transparency that we get from Internal Affairs. I mean, how are those the police of police? How is that possible? Hey, what's going on, Mr. Coppers?
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, dude, how you doing, man? What's your name and badge number, sir?
Huh?
What's your name and badge number, sir?
What do you need that for?
You're here in front of me, so I thought I'd get your name and badge number. Is that all right? Hey, are you guys the same Internal Affairs guys from last time?
No, we're not.
Okay. Why do you guys got 4 coppers here?
So your complaint's closed?
My complaint's closed?
That's correct.
Okay, cool. What happened with
There's
it?
nothing further to discuss?
What happened with it?
There's nothing further to discuss.
There's nothing further
Have a
to
nice
discuss.
day.
Wait. Have a nice That's it? day.
Yep. Have a nice
Why
day.
were the other 2 coppers here? Don't you guys have guns? You guys have guns, right? You have guns and... Where's the transparency? Who did the investigation? Was there a deposition done? What was the investigative process? Did you question the other piggies on the scene who had body cams on? That's the reason why they didn't try to dismiss the excessive force claim in my federal civil rights lawsuit. So what's the process here? Don't get to know it. What are the results? That's it. That's all the information you get. Why is that? How come I don't get to know? I filed a complaint because my pinky doesn't hit my shift button anymore properly. And so I want to know what that process is. I want to know what happened. What are the results of my Internal Affairs complaint? I don't get to know anything. How come I don't get to know anything? Everybody hit the like button. Hit the like button. So, you're right, Michael Poe. I smell marijuana. I smell marijuana. That's the biggest lie there is. So what are the big lies that we know so far? I got a report you're breaking into cars. That one. That's a big one. That's a big one, right? Lots of people called on you about your driving. That's a big lie too. That's constantly a great big lie. I smell marijuana because the only person who can say they don't smell marijuana to prove them wrong is the other copper on the scene. And he's not going to say that. He's going to back up the copper. So now that's funny because Writes on, good to see you, Michael Poe. Chevy, what's going on? Top Rock, Mark Bear, Jeff hates pigs. Jeff hates pigs. Jeff hates pig. So I saw this video. I'm here in Nevada, and I saw this. This video about how aliens had landed here in Las Vegas, and it's funny because when I first saw and heard the body cam footage, until I went to my barber who hates cops, been just attacked by cops. He's black, gets targeted by cops. They'll pull him over with his kids in the car. He's constantly being targeted. If you're being targeted by cops, record everything and send me that video. So stop resisting, Mikey. Stop resisting. That's the other one. I forgot that one, Mikey. Stop resisting. They're screaming so that other people can hear him scream and stop resisting. And then in the reports, it says, oh yeah, everybody could hear I was screaming, stop resisting. So I saw this the other day, and there's something in here that's a takeaway about how shitty this system of cops are that have changed from peace officers to law enforcers. And so remember, they have no duty to protect you. I want you to listen very carefully to this video, listen to every word, because I actually, when I first saw it, I didn't hear what I heard until my barber, who hates cops, said to me, Chille, did you hear this? And I was like, you know, it's funny. I'm so glad you said that to me because I didn't hear it until you just reminded me. And now I hear it. Now I definitely hear it.
Saw some fall from the sky. They checked their backyard and they saw something with like 8 to 9 feet, no clothes, green colored men, not human, with like the eyes were glowing and they did not, it was not a human being. So, Did you see it?
Huh?
Did you see it?
Yeah, me and him saw it.
What'd you see?
It was like a big creature.
A big creature?
Yeah, like around 10 feet tall.
Because I'm not going to BS you guys. One of my partners said they saw something fall out of the sky too, so that's why I'm kind of curious. Did you see anything land in your backyard, or?
They see like a big. That's what they say. They see like a big color with lights.
Can we go outside
And I have a picture at the back. You can see.
I see a cat over there.
No, please can you check because this piece is not gonna let me sleep tonight.
Oh yeah, that.
Do you have cameras?
One camera, but it's not the company.
I'm a landlord, so
I'm a camera.
the landlord is the only one who can see the camera.
Did you see it? No. I'm kind of curious now. I want to know if there's aliens.
I was with the iPhone. I said, let me. I want to
Like
record something.
like this way.
Where did they go?
Well, they say that. I'm gonna show you.
You have a dirt backyard. Can you show me if there's And I'm sorry, did you see them go anywhere? No, you didn't. You saw? Did they probably go that way? Hey, did you guys? Hey, this might sound like a really dumb question, but did you guys see anything fall out of the sky? Yeah. We got a call, and one of my partners actually said that they saw it too. So, if you happen to see any, like I'm not BSing you, if you see
Video
any,
footage.
no, like if you see any like little, well, not little in this case, they're
streets
claiming
down that way.
8 to 9 foot tall green beings that were in their backyard. Sounds crazy, but you never know. Your neighbors, your fine neighbors over here. But again, I would normally discount it as probably not
These
real.
neighbors right here.
Yes. I would normally discount it as nothing. However, seeing as one of my partners said they saw it too, only reason I'm actually investigating it further. So if you guys see anything, especially in your backyard, please call 911. We'll come over, okay?
All
We just,
right.
it might, and we're hoping that it's maybe just some kids pranking or doing something stupid. They said they saw some.
Did you hear what he said? Kids pranking? Kids pranking have something fall a mile out of the sky?
Fall from the sky. They checked their backyard and they saw something with like 8 to 9 feet, no clothes, green colored men, not human, with like the eyes were glowing and they did not. It was not a human being. So yeah, it was just what's up? Yeah, there's multiple people in this home, so we already checked. Huh? More than one. So if you see anything, just give us a call, okay? Hope you have a good night. Take care.
Listen, keep listening. Keep listening. Listen carefully.
I got it. I want pretty much just fire in the area. I'm not we can't even
Listen to what the cop says.
Weird. This is like our partner saw something at the same exact time. I put it one back. I put it in my piece. I put it one. I was like,
Your neighbor's still going around looking, so. I don't know.
yeah.
Did you guys have, I'm sorry, no surveillance, no video?
The cameras don't belong to us.
That's from the company camera. So
Hasta los postes de luz.
on the post, one of the posts.
The landlord got a camera on the post here, over here. I'll show you.
No, they don't see it. They see it.
Yeah, the landlord has it, so they don't have access to it. But
Okay.
someone else has access to it. So yeah, like I said, we'll ATL the area and we'll be around here for the night.
You hear what he said? They don't have access to the cameras. That's the biggest problem in America, is that we don't have access to the cameras.
On the post here, over here. I'll show you.
No, they don't see it. They see it.
Yeah, the landlord has it, so they don't have access to it. But someone
Okay.
else has access to it. So yeah, like I said, we'll ATL the area and we'll be around here for the night.
I'm going to the hotel, man.
I don't blame you.
All right, man. We appreciate you calling. Give us a call if you see
I wanted to
anything
find some aliens.
else.
Well, hey, if those 9-foot beings come back into your backyard, you call the police and we'll come back here. Okay?
If those
Yeah.
things come back, don't call us, all right? Deal with it yourself.
You hear that? There's the truth. If those 9-foot beings come back, don't call us. Deal with it yourself.
If those things come back, don't call us, all right?
Okay?
If those
Yeah.
things come back, don't call us, all right? Deal with it yourself. I ain't dealing with that. I'll drive by and wave at you guys. You're on your own, bro.
You're on your own, bro. No help is coming, folks. These are the people who have the guns with the radios, with the rocket launchers and the MRAP tanks. These are the people. You're on your own, folks. If green color aliens come around, 9-foot creatures, don't call us. You're on your own.
All right, take care, guys. Have a good one. All right, Slade, let's just regroup over here, okay?
Keep going around and around.
Marshall. I told my neighbor what we saw. He's like, no way. He's like, get the security cameras. I gotta see.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know. He told me enough, police officer. Before that or after that? She said.
Yeah, we were on a call by the Target right down there, in the Bonds, and she saw what she thought was a shooting star fly in the sky. She saw something.
My son,
I believe in these things.
I don't believe, but Mom, I swear to God, so we're not putting God in this, but I don't see it.
Well, no, I'm not. I mean, I believe stuff. I don't know, but listening to their stories, like I'm back there with like chills on my arms. Like it's creepy.
You guys got the chills?
Yeah, it's weird, bro.
Why am I the only one who's like, okay?
It's weird.
Because you're talking to cowards, bro.
Just the fact that our partner saw something at the same exact time.
You heard he said? Listen to the other one here. Listen.
Okay.
It's weird. Just the fact that our partner saw something at the same exact time.
Just the fact that our partner saw something at the exact same time. Now it's true, but it wasn't true when I heard from you. The fact that my partner saw the same thing at the same time, it's true now.
Wait, your neighbor's still going around looking, so. Did you guys have, I'm sorry, no surveillance, no video?
The cameras don't belong to us.
That's when the company camera. On the post, the one on the post.
There's one back there, but there's
landlord got a camera on the post here. Over here, I'll show you.
No, they don't see it.
yeah, the landlord has it, so they don't have access to it, but someone else has access to it. So yeah, like I said, we'll ATL the area and we'll be around here for the night.
I'm
So
going to the hotel, man.
yeah, I don't blame you. All right, man. We appreciate you calling. Give us a call if you see anything else, okay? I know, legit, bro. No, hey, if those 9-foot beings come back, don't call us, all right? Deal with it yourself.
Listen up. It may be ha funny, but is it? Everybody knows when you get a little tipsy, drunk, the truth comes right out. You're saying the truth. Everybody knows. Even when you're joking, there's a little bit of truth in there.
No, hey, if those 9-foot beings come back, don't call us, all right? Deal with it yourself. I ain't dealing with that. I'll drive by and wave at you guys. You're on your own, bro.
Guys, have a good one.
Yeah.
I don't know what's being said here. They muted the body cam, so I can't hear what's being. Oh, there it is. You see that?
I don't know.
Did you see that? Watch. You see that? They said they saw 9-foot beings and then some. Come on, get out of here. Wow. Wow, there it is right there. I mean, that's what's really going on. Wow. So that's crazy, right? That is some crazy stuff right there. So I was watching this video yesterday. I watch a lot of wrestling and jujitsu and fighting. I did my sprints this morning. I'm getting back to my 10 because I want to be the toughest I can possibly be. I'm ripping out 100 push-ups in the morning. I'm kicking my sprints in every day. Sprints are the fastest way to reintroduce human growth hormone into your body if you're a man. So if you are trying to get in shape, if you can get yourself to maximum exertion, you can learn this from Dr. Berg. I believe his name is Dr. Eric Berg. You can do pull-ups, you can lift weights, you can do grappling, jujitsu, MMA, pancration, sambo. You can do any kind of work you want. The fastest way to increase your HGH are wind sprints. You want to get to top speed for at least 8 to 40 seconds. They said, Berg, the doctor online who I learned this from, and then I researched it further, and it's true. Maximum exertion increases your human growth hormone. If you fast for 2 days, you get a pinch of human growth hormone that would cost you hundreds of dollars to buy if you were going to buy it. So I was watching this guy's video, and that was kind of a little segue into this, but I was watching this video, and remember the other night I saw a copper and I was driving by. I went down, turned around a parking lot, went back over to where the copper was, and I've trained myself to do things a certain way. And so I want to show this to you guys because, yep, I mean, Denti Jen, I hit a sprint anytime I can. Just get out there and hit a sprint. I want to be maximum strength. And that's what grappling and fighting is about. You have to be able to go, and then defend, go, and then defend. So I want to show you guys something. So check this out. And then I want you to equate what he's saying with whipping out your phone, pulling out your phone and recording cops. So listen to what this guy says. And then all the videos I'm showing you today are parallels.
With a guy who has a knife. It was an argument that turned violent. Now you're 6 to 10 feet apart. He's got a knife. You don't have any weapons. You're in the street. What do? Or how about this one? You're at the playground and a guy with a knife runs around and starts stabbing kids with it. What do? I know what you're going to do. I know what you're thinking right now. I know what you're typing right now that you're going to do. And the truth is, you're probably not going to do any of that. Now, I know what you're going to say. I do this stuff for some damage. He was not holding on to me. I could have stood up and
stand up. Hey,
person. That's MMA training. That's MMA mentality. That's fighting, not self-defense. I was actually in a dominant position. I'd done some damage. He was not holding on to me. I could have stood up and run at any point, but no part of my brain at all ever tells me to do that. None. There's no part of me that tells me to run unless I decided beforehand I was going to run. Or like at the Ultimate Self-Defense Championship, where the purpose of the game was to run away. And I do this stuff for a living.
Listen,
and I teach people and tell people, yeah, make sure you yell for help. Make sure you tell bystanders you don't know this person. If the first chance you get, you run away. But we don't practice that nearly enough, and neither do you. Nobody does. Everybody's always in Reddit and in the comment section of every video talking about how they would just run, or they would just de-escalate, or they would just create distance. All this just jitsu. You're not going to do it. You're going to do whatever you practice doing under stress. That's a fact. And I think it's crazy and laughable that people really, sincerely, honestly look at hypothetical situations and say, you know what I think I'd do during the most stressful incident that has ever occurred to me in my life? Something I've never, ever practiced once. That's what'll probably happen. I will rise to the occasion. You don't rise to the occasion. You fall to your level of training. Yes. People do crazy things under stress. Yes. I've been to burglaries where the guy stole a DVD player. They broke into the house, stole the DVD player, but they unplugged the coax cable from the wall and plugged it into the TV for the person that they were stealing the DVD player from. They didn't do this because they were just being polite. They didn't do this because they thought no one would notice the burglary. The front doors kicked in. They did it because they were going through an extremely stressful time, and that's sort of an automatic thing. Oh, you're unplugging the DVD player. I just realized as I'm telling this story that there's a certain age that has no idea what I'm talking about. People just do wild stuff under stress. Almost every single person on the planet would like to think, oh yeah, if I got into trouble and something bad happened, I wouldn't do very stupid things that make no sense. But that's what you do when your brain is confronted with something that you can't process.
Okay, listen to it again, and then I'm gonna show you something that has a direct correlation to what he's saying. I want you to listen to this very carefully. Listen to the words that he's saying. Pay very close attention to the words. And then I'm going to parallel those words into something that truly matters with you and I.
You're unplugging the DVD player. I just realized as I'm telling this story that there's a certain age that has no idea what I'm talking about. People just do wild stuff under stress. Almost every single person on the planet would like to think, oh yeah, if I got into trouble and something bad happened, I wouldn't do very stupid things that make no sense. But that's what you do when your brain is confronted with something that you can't process. It takes you a while to catch up. You have to train against that. If you've trained to box, you'll box. If you've trained to wrestle, you'll wrestle. If you've trained to do enough wrestling to keep them from getting you on the ground and then box them, you'll do that. That's probably what you do if you trained here. And that may or may not be good enough in your scenario. It might work out just great. You might like cream the dude and be the hero that you imagine yourself to be. But if you train at a place where you keep yourself from getting taken down, you know how to hit, maybe you know how to use weapons, maybe you know how to defend yourself against weapons, you've practiced all that, to then say, and I probably would also run away when the time is right. I would yell for help when the time is right. I would say the right things to bystanders or on the phone with 911. I would do all these things. During the most stressful incident of my entire life, I'm going to do a bunch of very complicated tasks, cognitively, mechanically, tactically. I'm going to do everything really, really well. It's just crazy to think that.
Okay, so I want you guys to see something that I went over to this guy's page. I liked his video and I said, man, I love this. Thank you so much. So I'll drop this video down in the comment section, but this parallels everything that I've been teaching to people for the past couple years. Do you have your driver's license, your registration and proof of insurance, all photocopied, laser copied, and put into a laminated slip in your car so that you're not fumbling around to try to get your license put together with your insurance, with your proof of registration? You got to lean over and open up that glove box. That all goes in your trifold. We've talked about this dozens of times. If you don't have a trifold from me, you get one on deletelaws.com. They're $8 to print at home and $30 if you buy it. That's not the whole point of what I'm saying to you, though. Do you have your driver's license, your registration, and your proof of insurance on a color copy, laser copy within a laminated slip so that it goes right into your trifold? Or is your license, registration, and proof of insurance in the slip inside your trifold that I provide when you buy one? But you just get a rubber band and it's the exact same thing. It goes right in your visor so you can never be caught flat-footed. Because when you are under stress from the cop, you will not be put together. I'm sorry. You've watched my videos 1,000 times and you're like, listen, I'm going to do exactly like Chille does. Okay, fine. Then let's do it right now. Let's do it together. And I'm just going to rewind this for 2 seconds and just listen to what he has to say one more time. Just
during the most stressful incident of my entire life, I'm going to do a bunch of very complicated tasks, cognitively, mechanically, tactically. I'm going to do everything really, really well. It's just crazy to think that.
You're not going to do those things. You're not going to do a bunch of complicated tasks. So what are we going to do right now? We're going to practice pulling your phone out. You see a copper, phone comes out. Quick, open it up. What do I got to do? Shoot, oh man, are my fingers working properly? I got to get my passcode in here, but my fingers are not working properly because I'm nervous because I saw the copper and I think he's going to pull me over because I got expired tags. So did you get it open? Have you got your camera open? Okay, boom, now my camera's open. Right now, if you're not using your phone, reach in your pocket. You saw a copper, pull your phone out. He's saying it. He's been teaching this stuff for years. You're going to do what you practice doing. If you didn't get your license, registration, and proof of insurance on a laminated card, the other day when I was pulled over, you saw I'm supposed to give him my license. I gave him a laser copy and said, it's just as good. And he said, fine. He said, fine, no problem. He just said, take the tape off because I show it to people online. and then have you practice. When you pass a copper today, I want you to pull your phone out, get your camera open, get to video, and start recording. I want you to practice it. I literally want you to practice getting your phone out and recording them. Now, take your phone out and open up your video, and you saw a copper, and so your camera comes out. You guys saw the other day, I was Johnny on the spot. I caught that cop trying to jack that guy up, Sergeant Martinez. I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Are you practicing this? Are you pulling your phone out and putting it at the copper? Are you practicing it? I just want to know. I just want to know. Right there, right? Muscle memory through repetition, repetition, repetition. So today, when you see cops, I want you to pull your phone out and I want you to record the cop. I don't care if you're passing him on the road. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is that you pull your phone out and you record that copper. That's what matters the most to me. Because if you don't do it over and over and over again, then you're not going to do it when the time counts. You're not going to do it. I'm sorry. I wish you were, but you won't. You heard him during the most stressful time of your life, which is when you're under the gun from the copper. You're not going to be able to recite Supreme Court cases that you've learned online. You're not going to be, you could sit and study my poster, my ebook, my trifold forever and ever. And when you get one cop on each side of you and they're yelling at you and telling you, you have to comply, you're not complying. You have to comply. You're not complying. You're not going to be as smooth. It's not going to happen. It's just not. You heard him say it. People believe that during the most stressful time of their life, that they're all of a sudden going to be composed. And they're going to go, actually, that's Pennsylvania versus Mims. You're not. If you don't do what I do, interact with cops face to face as I do all the time, and I know my rights. I can call that cop a wussy. I can tell him that I can eat his lunch for breakfast. I can say anything I want to him. And if he arrests me for it, that's going to be Cohen versus California, 1971. I can say any words I want as long as they're not fighting words, which are, you are a damned fascist. That's the actual fighting words in Chaplinsky versus United States. That's what they are. So you got to practice doing it. You have to practice, practice, practice. Now, my friend Dan yesterday sent me $100 for Eric's fundraiser. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to put that $100 into Eric's fundraiser because right here, if you guys can see what I'm doing right here, there it is. I got this yesterday. So we're almost halfway. We're almost halfway on this fundraiser. I'm just going to drop $100 in here real fast, just real quick. So you guys can see the fundraiser there. You see that right there. And then I'm just going to put this $100 right in here, just super, super duper quick. I'm going to donate now, and 100. Sorry, I don't tip GoFundMe because they ripped off the truckers. I just can't abide. The dude does not abide. I do not. There, that is. Let me make sure you guys. Okay, I'm on the other page just so you guys know. I'm just real quick popping this $100 into, and this is from my friend Dan. Thanks for the donation, Dan. I really appreciate you helping out, Eric. There that is. Okay. There that is. Donate. There it is, folks. Okay, let me refresh this real quick and see if that's going to pop open. There it is right there, y'all. There it is. I just threw in. So Dan, thanks so much for that donation for him. I super appreciate it, man. I'm not going to stop on this fundraiser until we get to the top. I will not stop. I will not stop. I will not stop. If you don't want to hear about it, I don't care. You're not the one who needs a wheelchair. This guy needs a wheelchair. And so I'm going to keep going on this bad chicken until it's done. I don't give a damn if it takes another year. It won't, because I'll get on the phone with friends and family and I'll just keep on going. I'm going to raise the money for this guy. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do, but I can't do it without your help. So I appreciate you guys. If anybody wants to donate, I will drop the link down in the description here. I'm not going to pressure anybody because we've done several fundraisers for Eric, but I do appreciate your support. A lot of you guys have jumped in. I know that this channel is about helping people who go to jail, that have to deal with bail money or lawyer money. Deborah, for example, we got to do a fundraiser for Deborah pretty soon. We're going to raise her $300. It's going to be a $300 fundraiser for Deborah. So if you're tapped out right now, that's fine, because I'm just going to keep on going. And if you do send me a PayPal, Venmo, or Cash App, put the word wheelchair on there. If you send me a Zelle, put the word wheelchair on there, and we'll just keep on going until we raise the money. And that's what we're going to do. That's what I'm going to do. That's what we're going to do. What's up, Bad Chicken? What you got going on? What's up, Playboy? What's going on? What you doing, baby? Whoop, whoop, whoop. Okay. 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 I feel good. I feel good. Oh, that feels good. It feels good to give. It feels good. It feels really good. So I'm super. OTVO, type it in the chat as quick as you can. Overturn Terry versus Ohio. Just put it in the chat. Has everybody hit the like button? Just take your finger and lick that sucker. Bam, hit the like button. Just take your whappo, like I'm a bad dog. Love you too, Chevy. Thank you for the hearts, bro. I appreciate that. Chris Wood, good to see you. Ben, how are you? Adam, let me read some names here. Michael Poe, what's going on, brother? Roscoe's in the hizzy. Roscoe is in the hizzy. What's going on, Playboy? What is going on? We are DLZ family. Exactly, man. Listen, we're all on one team. We're on the human team. Humanity is a good thing. Loving other people is a good thing. Accepting love, giving love, being generous, accepting generosity, all of these things matter. We won't be a better system until we become more cohesive together to take on the government and the bad system through legislation, peace, petitioning, which is suing, and also filing complaints and going after them. Because eventually we're going to get it. I'm going to get to the governorship, and I'll tell you what, I'm going to change peace officers from the top down. Just, you know, one of the very first things is they're not going to wear that uniform anymore. They're going to wear a peace officer's uniform that's going to have cameras on it, so that the person who they're involved with, they'll just say, hey, look, we're not going to do anything to you. Nobody's even going to chase you. You can run. But there's another guy, another girl, just 500 yards away that has all those cameras on too. We don't need partners with guns, with sticks, with tasers. We're going to get you as soon as you're done being manic. But the way it is now, they chase people down and kill them. And so I'm going to change it all. I promise you. I promise you. You'll see, man. You'll see. I mean, you shall see. Action Jackson's in the hizzy. Special Ed Andrew. I haven't got to say your name yet, but good to see you, brother. I haven't seen you live in a long time. I know you're doing a lot of stuff over there. The Tribe. What is going on? Team DLZ. Chevy, what's going on, buddy? Natalie Wilt, is that Natty Witt? What's going on, Natty Witt? Alan Hubbs, absolutely love guy. The One, I got you up here. The One. Good to see you. We are DLZ family. And you know what? Listen, thank you guys so much for coming and letting me talk a little bit. Now we can see that the exact same thing the Supreme Court has set up with there's no ethics. There's no ethics. I'm not sure if you guys know this, but the name of my company is Ethics. You got to have ethics. You got to do it right. You can't do it wrong. There's no shortcuts to doing it the right way. There's none. You want to do it the right way? It's going to be long and hard and difficult. You want to do shortcuts? You can make all kinds of shortcuts. It won't be as good as the real thing. It won't be as good as the time you put in. You know, that first wall that I built, the history of institutional racism, took 6 months to build it. It didn't happen quick. And then right away we blew up on TikTok because I put the work in to gather the proper respect that was deserved for the amount of effort that I'd put out. So I'm just sharing. You know, this morning I also, there, Chevy's got it. There it is. There it is right there. Right there. Anytime that someone is appointed to a government position for life, they're going to become exactly what Chevy has put here. If you appoint me to a government position for life, over time, I will be corrupted. It will be impossible because power corrupts, but absolute power corrupts absolutely. We cannot have lifetime appointments at the highest court in the land, and their number one responsibility is to uphold our civil liberties, to uphold our Bill of Rights. And so we're always going to have problems, always. Fishing Syndicate, what's going on, my friend? I haven't seen you in here before. I have not seen you here before. So earlier there was someone in the chat that asked to come in. I think one of the moderators put him in timeout. But I don't do panels and I don't do interviews, so there won't be anybody coming up. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Remember, I'm a deep narcissist, okay? I can't have anybody else on my channel. You know, when people call me a narcissist, I just figure I'm going to quit now. You call me a narcissist, I'm out of here now. I'm out of here. So I want you to practice today. What's the homework assignment? When you see a copper, phone comes out. You see a copper, phone comes out. You see a copper, phone comes out. Oh shit, I gotta make it so that I can use the phone. Oh, see that my fingers are going numb. Oh, look at that. 2 times I tried to put my code in real fast because there's hundreds of people watching, and so I messed it up. Okay, there it is. Now open up there. There it is. Okay, boom, I finally got it. Okay. Now I got the video. Now I got it. Now I got it. Are you going to practice today? Put a 1 in the chat if you'll practice. When you see a copper, you practice the phone coming out. When you see a copper, you practice your phone comes out video, and then you point it at them. Don't just practice pulling the phone out and turning on your video. You practice pulling your phone out and pointing it at the copper. Doing a First Amendment protected activity, I'm filming you. I'll be filming you during this interaction. You don't have to be mean like I am. I'm not that mean. I just if they decide to mess with you, I mean. I want you to practice this today, okay? How many people will practice it? Boom! Fish and sent me $25 on Cash App. Okay, I'll save that $25 for tomorrow. For tomorrow at the end of the live. Tomorrow, Fish and Syndicate. If I got $25 from you, you said you put it in. I got to go to the other phone. Let's see the Cash App. Let's see the Cash App. There it is. Fish and Syndicate did indeed send $25 that I will put into Eric's fundraiser tomorrow. Thank you, Fish and Syndicate. I appreciate it. I got it right here. Let me see if I can. I'm so terrible at these things, but let me see if I can. You figure I'd be better at it by now. I'd be able to just find what I'm looking for right away. I can't find your name. I'll find your name tomorrow, Fish and Syndicate. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. We don't stop. We don't stop. We don't stop. I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Later, Gators.